Hey everyone, it's Lauren from Career Contessa. Welcome back to another Mentor Monday. Thanks for joining us. If you've never joined us for Mentor Monday today, I'll tell you how it works. You submit your career questions to us via Instagram direct message, and we will answer them every Monday here on Career Contessa's Instagram. The replays of all of these videos will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, so you can always watch them there if you miss the 24-hour replay. Also, every now and then we have a special guest that joins us, so we'll always make sure that you guys know that ahead of time. Got some great questions this week. One is about what do you do when you are being offered more money for a job that you currently have, or do you stick around, or do you not take the money and you go and you do the thing that you're actually more passionate about, which I'm sure is a question many of you have thought about before, is money versus passion. So the specific question that we got from a reader is she's working at an agency and she just got a job offer from another company offering her $20,000 more for the exact same job. The kicker is that she's not really in love with what she's doing at the agency currently. So she's trying to decide, do I move to the new company where I would have to probably put in more hours? There's naturally a learning curve when you go somewhere else. Or do I stay where I'm at, making less money and just trying to figure out what it is that I really want to do next? Of course, I'm sure many of you have an opinion about this, and I would love to hear your comments in the comment section. So if you have an opinion over money, if you're voting for money or passion, let us know. Here's my advice. If you know that you don't want to work at an agency long term and you already have decided that this is not for you, then maybe what I would recommend is finding a compromise where you take that job offer that you got and you try to leverage it for a higher salary at your current company. So you get to stay with that current company. You don't have to go through that learning curve of joining a new company and the new processes of how they do the exact same job you're doing, but maybe you could at least earn some more money in the meantime. So that's one option. The other option I have is, if you are 110%, 120% certain that you don't want to work in the agency world anymore or do what you're doing, and so therefore going to this other company offers you zero learning or opportunities other than what you already know you don't want to do, then stick with the idea I just gave you. If there's even an inkling of you that thinks, hey, I could really learn something new by doing this, then maybe you should seriously consider the new job opportunity, not just for the money, but for the learning opportunity, because whatever you do next, it might be really valuable to be able to say, I'm able to adapt and pivot and learn how to do the new process or the new creative skills at this other company. So I know that wasn't super helpful, but basically, if you're 120% sure that you do not want to be in this industry forever, try to leverage your new job opportunity or your new job offer to get a higher salary. So that's my best advice without a ton of extra information. Remember that you can always work one-on-one with any of our career coaches. We have a career coaching service called Hire a Mentor. So don't worry about if you're looking to get one-on-one help, there's also more options there. Cool, so someone just asked us live, keep the job, ask for a raise, and focus on your side project. Yep, however, the agency life is horrible. Take on a new job or salary increase and invest toward your passion. Great, so me and O Lives are pretty much on the same page. Probably don't go through the process of switching jobs, but see if you can leverage for a higher salary and then use that to do something you really love. Oh, great. So Jacqueline, our marketing manager at Career Contessa, just included a link to Hire a Mentor, which is our career coaching platform for anybody who's interested. Okay, next question that came in, I have it in front of me. This is another great question. It says, how do you survive a job search when you suffer from anxiety? I've been with a company for 12 years and it's about to close. So on top of the anxiety, I'm way out of the job search loop these days. So I think the first thing that happens is we get anxiety around things that we can't control. So your company is closing down, and things where we feel like we don't know, right? It's the fear of the unknown. And that is probably coming from the fact that you haven't job searched in a while. So the first thing I would do is say, that, have a positive self-talk with yourself, that this is a situation that's out of your control and that this is a new opportunity for you to go out and find a new job at a new great company. So kind of switch your mindset to be a little bit more positive about it. Second of all, the last time you did search for a job, you were successful and you found a great company that you've been with for 12 years. So don't doubt yourself. Be confident going into your job search. The next thing that you can do is a couple items. I would encourage you to start polishing your job search materials. That's your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your portfolio site, or your cover letter. Again, you can work one-on-one with one of our career coaches through our Hire a Mentor. I also have online courses about how to create a standout resume in 24 hours or less. We have another course called the LinkedIn Lab, and we have another course called the New Job Search Strategy, which helps you figure out how to find target companies, so companies that you want to target your job search toward, and then how do you work your way in backwards from there. So you know that you want to work at this dream company. Now, how do you work your way into that company after identifying them as a target company? And a target company could be a company that offers flexibility because you know that's a priority, or offers learning opportunities inside of the company because you know that's something that's really important to you. So before you get anxious about having a job search at all, why don't you think about also what's important to you? What do you really want out of your next job? Because this is a brand new opportunity for you to find a new employer at a new company. And so think about what's really, really important in your life, and then see if you can find companies that fit that. My last advice, if you are feeling anxious about the job search, is come up with a routine. I always feel better when I have a routine that I'm sort of sticking to, because I think one of the parts about job searching when you're not currently working is that you kind of have all this free time, and you know, there's something to be said about how you're probably more productive when you have less time. It's like, the more time I have, the more I procrastinate about things. So come up with a job search routine. So maybe every morning you wake up by a certain time, you job search between this time and that time, you go on networking events maybe once a month, whatever the schedule is. And Jacqueline, actually, if you can add a link to an article that we have on Career Contessa that's about how to stay positive during a long job search. So the average job search can last anywhere between 6 to 9 months. That's sort of the average, but remember, that's an average. There are people who get jobs a month after looking. So I would definitely recommend coming up with a routine, and also checking out those online courses, because I was a recruiter and I'm teaching the courses based off of what I saw worked when I was hiring. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay, the last question that came in for this Mentor Monday, and feel free, you guys, if you are joining us live, to ask questions. I'll answer them as well. The next one that came in, when someone asks me what my salary requirements are, how do I know if I'm asking for too much or too little? So those of you that have been reading Career Contessa for a while know that we have a really popular series called The Salary Project. If you go to Career Contessa, you can search it and you'll find it right away. And what the Salary Project is it allows you to have salary transparency. So that means salary transparency around what other people are making, maybe in the same industry as you or the same location as you. Well, we took that editorial piece and we turned it into an entire database that now you can have access to. So when you're trying to figure out your salary requirements, the first thing to do is to figure out what are people around you that are similar to you making, whether that's industry, location, both, company, whatever. So go check out the Salary Project on Career Contessa. It's an anonymous salary database. The first thing that we will give you is a report on how your salary compares to everyone else in the database. And if you give us a little bit more information about who you are, we will actually give you access to this entire database so you can see how old people are, where they live, their job function, their industry, their salary. It's a really great rabbit hole. So go online and see if you can come up with a range of what people who are similar to you are making. The next tip I have is go talk to 3 men and 3 women, either in your company, your industry, your location, even someone who's maybe senior to your level. Come up with your range and then talk to them and say, look, I'm trying to determine my salary range. This is what I've come up with. Would you mind sharing with me your salary range so I know if I'm in line or if I'm way off or anything like that? I think you'd be surprised how often people will be helpful with that information. In worst case scenario, they don't want to share that. That's okay. There are way more than 3 men and 3 women out there that you can talk to, so just go find someone else. And with the senior person, because it might not be appropriate to ask them what their salary range, you can say, here's the range I've come up with. Do you think this is appropriate or not? So that will help you kind of cross-check whether or not what you're asking for is too little or too much. I also would encourage you to always go a little bit higher on the higher end of your range, because again, the worst thing they're going to say is that's way out of our range, but this is what we were thinking. Or if they say that's way out of our range, what else would work for you instead? Then you can say, well, okay, I can take a lower salary, but I really want to have an extra week of vacation or whatever it is. Remember, this is a compensation package. It includes more than just your salary in there. So hopefully that's helpful. A couple links today, an article on Career Contessa on how to stay positive during a long job search. I mentioned the Salary Project database. So it's an anonymous salary database. If you want to know how much money people are making in similar roles, industries, locations, go check that out on Career Contessa. I mentioned our career coaching platform called Hire a Mentor, also on Career Contessa, and our online courses if you are starting a job search to create a standout resume, optimize your LinkedIn profile, and a new job search strategy, which is instead of focusing on the job, focusing on those target companies. I'll add all the links to those or I think they were already added into the Instagram Live, and when I add this replay to YouTube, I'll make sure to add those links in the comments as well. Okay guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you again for joining us for Mentor Monday. My name is Lauren McGoodwin. I'm the founder and CEO of Career Contessa, and I look forward to chatting with you guys next week. Thanks guys.